Mr. Mngomezulu.
As a court, please, my lord, I'll ask Advocate Mnisi to do
Yeah,
that.
Advocate Mnisi, please, just based on
Please, the
record.
court, madam. As it please the court, my lord, has been indicated in the court chamber. I have been requested by Mr. Mngomezulu yesterday, soon after the adjournment, to proceed to stand in on his behalf, basically to be his proxy. This is necessitated by the fact that he needed to go see a doctor yesterday to review his attendance to the doctor, which he had with the doctor last week. Now, he further indicated that he's not so sure what is it that the doctor would then tell him yesterday with regard to his attendance to court today. But now that he's not here, it seems to me that the doctor had requested him to be at home. I don't know for how many days, but he then also again requested that in an event that he's not yet either today or even tomorrow, I should continue to stand in on his behalf. And then I said to him, no, I don't have a problem, I may do that. But emphatically, he mentioned that he is only avoiding, he's doing this to avoid, to request a further postponement of this case in order to prolong it on account of his condition. I requested him to discuss his request with his client, Mr. Sibiya, in his presence, and Mr. Sibiya confirmed that he does not have a problem if I honor Mr. Mngomezulu's request. I would therefore request that the court also confirm that arrangement with Mr. Sibiya, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Thanks. Just interpret for...
Okwenzekayo ke namuhla njengoba sibonaka ukuthi ubaba uMngomezulu akekho nabameli bacela ukuthi bahambe bayobona umehluleli ehhovisi lakhe sekuyabuywa ke manje inkulumo ke noma bekhulunywa ke khona lapho ila ubaba uMngomezulu acele khona ubaba uMnisi ukuthi ke kube uyena ke ozommela nanjengoba engekho ethi ke ugwema ukuthi ke icala liphinde lihlehlisweke ngoba engazi ke ukuthi nanjengoba izolo ebezobuyela kudokotela udokotela uzothini kuyena nanjengoba sesibona ukuthi akekho namuhla okushoyo ke ukuthi ngempela udokotela ushilo ukuthi ke akahlaleke endlini esingazi ukuthi amalanga amangaki manje ke uthi ke uadvocate Mnisi mayitshela inkantolo ukuthi lokho kwenziwe ukhona ke wena baba uSibiya ubiziwe nawe washo ke nawe ukuthi cha awunankinga uma kuukuthi ke nanjengoba engekho baba uMngomezulu uadvocate Mnisi usengaqhubeka ke namuhla kube uyena ke omela yena ubaba uMngomezulu.
Yes, thanks. Yes, Mr. Sibiya, stand up, please. We have heard the discussion regarding the condition of your advocate, Mr. Mngomezulu. Is that so, sir?
Uzwile ke isimo mayelana nommeli wakho ubaba uMngomezulu angithi kunjalo? Yes, my lord.
You agree and confirm the arrangements that Advocate Mnisi will stand in his stead on your behalf.
Uyavumelana ke futhi ke uyaqinisekisa lokho oqeda ukukhulunywa uyena ke uadvocate Mnisi ukuthi ke nikhulumile nazwana ukuthi ke baba uMnisi angaqhubeka njengoba engekho baba uMngomezulu. Yes, my lord.
Okay, thank you.
Siyabonga.
Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
As the court pleases, my lord. Is this one?
This is the mandate that you are still under oath, Brigadier.
Yes, my lord.
Brigadier Gininda, when we adjourned yesterday, we requested you to place the rest of the information that appears on the annexure to Exhibit E5. You had progress up to the 19th of March 2015. These are the withdrawals from the net bank account of accused number 1. You can proceed.
Yes, my lord. So
you can start there on the 19th of March 2015.
Okay. So the date, my lord, is 2015 March the 19th. time is 12:22:58 seconds. The type of transaction, just hang on, my lord, it's gonna check something. It was a cash withdrawal, and it was at Itala Shopping Center, Ulundi. The second one is 2015 July 15, time 12:05:24 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal at shop 11A and 11B, corner MC Johannesburg, SGZA. The next entry, my lord, is 2015 July 15, again same date, time 12:08:11 seconds, cash withdrawal at the same shop, shop 11A and shop 11B, corner MC Johannesburg, SGZA. The next entry, my lord, is 2015 July 16, 13:22:56 seconds. It's a cash withdrawal at shop 11A and 11B. No, 104 and 106, level 100, Johannesburg, SGZA, my lord. The next entry is 2015 July 16, same date, 13:48:18 seconds. It's for goods and services, the papers, and the location, my lord, it simply says 1RW174 CPT WZA. That's all it says in terms of the location. The next entry is 2015 July 16, 13:54:58 seconds, goods and services again. It was at Spitz Carlton Center in Johannesburg. The next entry is 2015 July 16, 14:03:51 seconds, goods and services. It was Studio Carlton in Johannesburg, my lord. Then the next entry is 2015 July the 16th, 15:54:54 seconds in terms of the time. It's goods and services as well. That was, the location is Overland Liquors, Foslo, Johannesburg, ZA. Next entry is 2015 July 17, 10:58 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal, my lord. It was Corner Jack and Victoria, 5th Germiston, EGZA. Next entry 2015 July 07, time 11:07:46 seconds. It's goods and services, the purpose thereof. Goods and services, and it was Studio Germiston, Johannesburg, the location, my lord. The next entry is 2015 July 19, 11:10:27 seconds in terms of the time. It was a cash withdrawal, and it was at ABSA Johannesburg Central, Prinsloo, Johannesburg, ZA. Next entry is 2015 July 20. Time is 18:20:40 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal, my lord. It was at shop 11A and 11B, Naledi, SV Foslo, VTZA in Fosloras. Next entry is 2015 July the 21st, my lord. Time is 11:11:46 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal at shop 11A and 11B, Naledi, S Fosloras, VTZA. Next date 2015 July the 22nd, time 16:23:04 seconds, cash withdrawal, and it was at DNR Fosloras, Naledi M Fosloras 09ZA, my lord. The next date is 2015 July the 28th, 14:52:14 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal at shop 11A and 11B, Naledi S Johannesburg, SGZA. Then the next entry is 2015 July the 31st, 08:04 23 seconds. It was a cash withdrawal. But it says insufficient, so it didn't go through, my lord, because it says insufficient funds. But the purpose was a cash withdrawal, and then it was done at corner Brookfield and Blair in Johannesburg, SGZA. Next entry is 2015 July 31, time 08:05 13 seconds, cash withdrawal. Also didn't go through at the same location, corner Brookfield and Blair, Johannesburg, SGZA. Next entry 2015 07 31, same date, my lord, 08:05 58 seconds, cash withdrawal. That was at the same location, corner Brickfield and Blair, Johannesburg, SGZA. Yes, that is the last one, my lord.
Thank you.
Izolo-ke izolo-ke besibheke ukusebenza ke kwekhadi ela Standard Bank, namuhla ke lana ukusebenza kwekhadi lase Nedbank. Siqala ngazo i19 kuMarch 2015, isikhathi u12:22 nama seconds awu58. Kwakhishwa ke imali kwenzeka lokho ke eThala Shopping Center uLundi. Kwase kuthi ngeyi15 zika July 2015, isikhathi u12:05:24, nalapho kwakhishwa imali ku shop 11A noma ke istolo 11A no 11B ekhona yase MC eJohannesburg. Bese kuthi ngeyi15 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi 12:06 nama seconds awu11, kwakhishwa imali istolo u11A no 11B khona MC eJohannesburg. Ngeyi16 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi u13:22 ama seconds awu56, ila kwakhishwa khona ke imali istolo 104 ukuyofika ke ku106 level 100 khona eJohannesburg. Ngeyi16 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi u13:45 nama seconds awu18, ila khona ke kwase noma ke kwathengwa ke khona ke kubhalwe TRW banguthi ke mangaphazamike u3 West, kodwa kubhalwe uTRW 174, kwase kubhalwa CPT WZA. Bese kuthi ngeyi16 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi u13:54 nama seconds awu58, kwathengwa ke nalapho eSpeeds eCarlton Center eJohannesburg. Ngeyi16 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi u14:03 ama seconds awu51, kwathengwa ke nalapho eStudio 88 eCarlton Center eJohannesburg. Kwase kuthi ngeyi16 kuJuly kuyena ke u2015, isikhathi u14:03 nama seconds awu51, kwathengwa ke nalapho. Okay, le ngiqedwe isho manje. Bese kuthi ngeyi16 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi 15:54 nama seconds awu54, nalapho kwathengwa ke eOverland Liquors eFoslo eJohannesburg. Bese kuthi ngeyi17 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi u10:58 nama seconds awu6, kwakhishwa imali khona ke ekhona Jack and Victoria Street eJermiston. Bese kuthi ngeyi17 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi 11:07 nama seconds awu45, kwathengwa ke khona Studio 88 eJermiston eJohannesburg. Bese kuthi ngeyi19 kuJuly 2015, isikhathi 11:10 nama seconds awu27, kwakhishwa ke imali eAbsa Johannesburg Central ePrinsloo eJohannesburg. Ngeyi20 July 2015, isikhathi 18:20 ama seconds awu40, kwakhishwa khona ke imali istolo 11A no 11B eNaledi eFosloras. Bese kuthi ngeyi21 July 2015, isikhathi 11:11 ama seconds awu46, kwakhishwa ke imali istolo 11A no 11B eNaledi eFosloras. Bese kuthi ngeyi22 July 2015, isikhathi 16:23 ama seconds awu4, kwakhishwa khona ke imali DNR Fosloras eNaledi eFosloras. Base kuthi ngeyi28 July 2015, isikhathi 14:52 ama seconds awu14, kwakhishwa ke imali istolo 11A no 11B eNaledi eJohannesburg. bese kuthi nge-31 July 2015 isikhathi 8:04:23 kwakhishwa khona-ke imali ibhaliwe-ke ukuthi-ke imali-ke yayingenele ukusho ukuthi-ke ayizange-ke imali iphumeke kodwa kwabhalwa-ke ekhona Brickfield neBie eJohannesburg bese kuthi nge-31 July 2015 isikhathi 8:05:13 kwakhishwa imali futhi-ke nalapho imali ayizange itholakale khona ekhona Brickfield neBie eJohannesburg nge-31 July 2015 8:05:58 nalapho kwakhishwa-ke imali ekhona Brickfield and Bie eJohannesburg.
Thank you. Can we then just revisit one aspect regarding your evidence? You mentioned that there were several factors that inform you that they were intruders in this matter.
Correct, my lord.
There were people who intruded in the house at 13511 Kutwanong section.
That is correct, my
Kutwanong
lord.
Street in Mzamo section.
That is correct, my lord.
Ushilo-ke ukuthi kunezinto-ke ey'thize-ke ezakubangela-ke ukuthi ufinyeleleke ekuthini-ke ngempela-ke kunabantu abangena noma ababengenile-ke kuloya muzi-ke e-13511 eKutwanong Street Mzamo section ePhosphorus. Yebo, kuyiqiniso lokho.
You also mentioned the evidence of Constable Mtetwa as well as Constable Matebula.
That is correct, my lord.
Ukhulumile-ke ngabo ubufakazi bakhe uConstable Mthethwa kanye naye uConstable Matebula. Yebo, kuyiqiniso.
And in particular, as to what they were informed upon arrival at the scene.
Yes, indeed, my lord.
Futhi-ke mayelana naloko abakutshelwa uma ngabe befika kuyona indawo yesigameko. Yebo, kuyiqiniso.
I just wish to refer you to the evidence of Constable Mtetwa given on the 15th of August 2023, page 2 thereof. If you can place on record the testimony starting from line 19. As well as page 103, lines 21 to 24, and up to page 104.
Ngicela-ke ufundeke lana ubufakazi bakhe-ke umthethwa-ke bange-15 ku-August 2023.
The highlighted portions.
Indeed, my lord. The highlighted portion for the date of the 15th of August 2023 reads as follows, my lord. Under Mr. Mtetwa, we then received a complaint via radio control that there was a shooting in progress at Muzamo. Then, Mr. Baloyi, what time did the complaint came through? Mr. Mtetwa, 7 minutes to 9. Then the next page, my lord, the highlighted portion, Mr. Mtetwa, just as we stopped, opened the window, my lord, because she was waving. She was, let me just check something, my lord, I want to confirm something. Okay, yes, my lord. So it proceeds just as we stopped, opened the window, my lord, because she was waving, stopping the van, and then she pointed that they ran towards this direction, and we turned around, my lord, and we just around it, and we came back. Then the court asked, my lord, they ran towards this direction, and she pointed on what the general consensus that there is a park. Mr. Mtetwa, my lord, says towards the park. Then the court, and then did you proceed towards the park? Mr. Mtetwa, yes, my lord. Then Mr. Mtetwa also, okay, and then the court says, right, and what did you do there? Mr. Mtetwa, the lights were on, my lord, but we also applied our light with the other lights, with the hope that maybe we might see someone running. Yes, that is the last
Thank you.
highlighted portion, my lord.
Lana ke ubufakazi bukaMthethwa ke afundayo ke Brigadier buhamba ngalendlela ke sase sithola ke umbiko ke ngayo iradio ukuthi ke kwakunodubulo okwakwenzeka ke emzamo wabuza ke umshushisi kwakungabani isikhathi kwathi nje imizuzu ke u7 ngaphambi kuka9 nokuthi kushaye u9 uyaqhubeka ke umthetho sathi ke uma sima ke sivula ke ifasitela noma ke iwindow wabeke etshengisa ke ngesandla sakhe ke ukuthi ke emisa ke yona imoto yamaphoyisa noma ke ivan wase ekhomba ke ukuthi bagijime baya ngale esikhombisa ke ngakwi wase eshoka ukuthi bajika futhi sase nathi ke siyahamba ke lapho eshoke ukuthi ke noma inkantolo eseshoke manje babaleka ke baya ngakulo hlangothi yena ke ekhomba esho futhi ukuthi kwakuyipark leyo umthethwa yebo babaleka ke baya ngase park ingabe ke sekubuza inkantolo ke manje ingabe nani ke naya ke ngase park yebo kosenkantolo saya kwakukhanya ke lapho nathi ke sakhanyisa ke ngezethu ke ibane ukubhekana ukuthi akekho yini esingambona ebaleka noma egijima.
Thank you. You also refer to the evidence of Constable Matebula.
Correct, my lord.
Ukhulumile nangobufakazi bakhe uConstable Matebula yebo kuyiqiniso.
We're going to show you portions of his evidence given on the 16th of August 2023, page 26, from line 20 up to line 24, as well as page 27, line 2 to 4, and on the same page 27, line 19 up to 23. If you can just place that on record.
Yes, indeed, my lord. So the date is 16th of June, 2013, my lord, and the highlighted portions reads as follows, under Mr. Matebula.
16 August. Sorry.
Is it August? Yes.
Yes, sorry.
16 August 2020. My apologies, my lord. The highlighted portion for Mr. Matebula reads as follows, my lord. At 20:53, we are at the police station detaining. Once at the police station, we received a complaint via radio control, which was a shooting in progress in number 13511 Kutwanong Street, Mzamo, Vosloorus. And the next page, my lord, with the same date of 16 August 2023, Mr. Mtetwa, when the complaint came through, we stopped everything and we rushed to that shooting in progress. Mr. Mtetwa further says, when we got to that street, we saw people standing outside. Mr. Mtetwa again, a certain lady with just a body, but she is a lady, waved to us and pointed to a particular direction. Yes, those are the two highlighted portions.
Lana ke ubufakazi bakhe ke uConstable uMathebula bange 16 August 2023 kwathi ke isikhathi imizuzu ngo2053 imizuzu ke u7 ngaphambi kokuthi ke kushaye ke u9 sasise police station sivalela ke sathi ke sise lapho epolice station sathola ke umbiko ngayo ke iradio control ukuthi ke kwakudutshulwa ke number 13511 Kutwanong Street eMzamo eVosloorus. Uma ke lo mbiko loyo ufika ke sayeka konke ke esasikwenza sase siphuthuma khona lapho ke ekwaku nokudubulo kwakwenzeka khona ke Mr. Matebula uma ngabe sifika ke kuleso strato leso kuleso sifahle leso sabona ke abantu bemi ngaphandle kwakunomama othize ke wayenomzimba nje kodwa ke kuumuntu wesifazane yena ke wasikhombisa ke ukuthi ke bagijima ke baya ngakuhlangothi olthize.
Thank you. Now, what is your comment?
My Lord, it confirms what I've said earlier, that as I was trying to, right at the beginning, when I was trying to establish as to whether there were intruders or none at the preliminary stage of the analysis of this docket, this is one of the aspects that I looked at, and that is the first responding officers being informed that there was a shooting in progress, and the suspects, in his contained statement, ran towards that direction, which is basically the park. So for me, the fact that the first responders, police officers, were informed clearly that the people who were involved in that shooting ran to a certain direction. It's a clear indication that there were people who were involved and they ran to a certain direction, and they were not found on that day, my lord.
Manje ke uthini ke wena ke kulokhu kwaqeda ufunda la khulunywa lamaphoyisa amabili ke yena uConstable Mthetho kanye naye uConstable uMathebula nanjengoba besibengishilo kwaseqaleni kubufakazi bami ke ukuthi uma ngibheka ke idokotela leli kwaseqaleni ke okwami kwakuqinisekisa noma ukuthola ukuthi babe khona yini abantu abangena kulo yamuzi noma cha. Lokhu ke ikona ke nako ke ekwangihola ke ngoba ke amaphoyisa oqala ukufika lapha yana athi uma ngabe fika atshelwa ukuthi yebo kunabantu futhi labantu bagijima noma babaleka baya ngakuhlangothi olthize futhi lo hlangothi lolo ke kwaku ipark okushoyo ukuthi ke impela ke yebo babe khona ke abantu abangena kulo yamuzi.
And this, my lord, as I've said, is in addition to the neighbors, the witnesses who witness people running out of that house after the shooting. So taking that information, which was disposed in the form of a statement, I couldn't ignore the fact that the only inclination or direction is that indeed there were intruders, because this is independent from the people who were inside the house, who were then questionable at that stage that perhaps were they telling the truth or not. These are independent people. These are police officers who were in duty, who simply responded to the crime scene, my lord, and this is what they were informed. They documented what they were informed. They had no reason to mislead. And the neighbors and the people who also indicated that they saw people running to a certain direction, they were not part of the people who were inside the house. Those were simply eyewitnesses and neighbors who simply indicated what they observed, my lord.
Futhi ke lokho kuhambelana ke naloko okwakhulunywa ke noma okwashiwo ibona ke omakhelwane ke nabo abasho ke ukuthi yebo impela babona ke abantu begijima ke beya ngakuhlangothi ke olthize futhi ke labantu akungasiyona ingxenye yalabo ababephakathi ke endlini ke bona ke ngaleso sikhathi ke ekwakungekho isiqiniseko nokuthi bakhuluma iqiniso noma cha, kodwa ke lana sithola abantu abawomakhelwane bayasho ukuthi ngempela kunabantu abagijima baya ngakuhlangothi. Sinamaphoyisa amabili afika ke khona lapho nawo atshelwa ukuthi cha kunabantu abaphumileke endlini bagijima baya ngakuhlangothi olthize.
Thank you. Now, Brigadier, if we can now deal with accused number 2.
Sorry, before you start, I'm sorry. You said neighbors. There was a neighbor you said in the evidence. They say that neighbor passed away. It's Mr.
Ngasha. Yes, yeah, the senior.
The senior. Was he a policeman or what?
He was a warrant officer, was a police officer, yes, and then he retired warrant officer, yes. He disposed an affidavit and also the same indication was given, my lord.
Yebo ke kunalo baba ke owashona ke uNqatshe owayeyiphoyisa ke noma owayewarrant officer ke ngaphambilini naye une statement ayesenzile ke esho khona lokho.
And my lord, further one can say that in dissecting this, because at that stage it was almost like a fact-finding mission for me, because we see with this matter there are sort of two, you have obviously what is contained in the docket, but there seems to be this theory or assertion or allegations, if I can put it that way, that there were no intruders. One needed to dissect what was contained in the docket factually. Not on allegations or theories, on hearsay, on the facts that were contained in the docket. And the facts contained in the docket, my lord, indicate what I've informed the court, that there were independent witnesses other than the people who were in the house who saw people running out of that house. no one could say that the people ran out of the house were actually the same people who were in the house. They ran, a description is given by the neighbors who were outside. That description, particularly of one of the shooters with the dreadlocks, is also given by the people who were inside the house. So there you find a common factor that there was a person described with a firearm inside the house with dreadlocks. The neighbors, particularly the lady that was sitting outside, I recall that saying she saw when they were running away that one of the suspects had dreadlocks. Now, you have to take that objectively, my lord, not in terms of hearsay, objectively. In addition to that, my lord, I've said objective evidence, which is DNA, that was found at the crime scene, excluded everyone that was in the house. What it indicated is that that DNA was left by someone else other than the person who were in the house, the persons who were inside the house. That DNA was obviously at a later stage, my lord, when these accused were actually now targeted. Their DNA were taken for comparison. I suppose when we get to that stage, I will deal with it, my lord, because as much as certain findings were made by the specialist, but they were pointers by the specialist to say there are common things that you can find on these people. And for me as an investigator, it was good enough that even if it's 1 or 2% of the DNA, for example, pointing accused number 3, it is enough for me to convince me that he was there as an investigator.
That is not his terrain. It is exclusively not his terrain. He's repeating the very same thing that I cautioned about. Mr. Gininda is not here as an expert, madam. He's here as a police officer. He only needs to bring information to the court, the basis on which this court then will have to make a decision. He is not here to analyze that information as though he's the one that is going ultimately to give a judgment. He's pretty wrong, and the state is allowing to do that. I don't know if the state is doing that with a view in order to influence the mind of the court. But I'm very grateful because the court said earlier on that the court is well trained and it is experienced enough to separate the wheat from the chaff. What Mr. Gininda is doing now is only trying to influence the mind of the court with a hell lot of a chaff. What is stating now is a chaff. It's nonsensical. It should not be done, my lord. And I'm going to request the state to tell its witness to refrain from what the state's witness is doing, my lord. Because it's not here as an expert, and we're not interested in his opinion. His opinion matters not. Ultimately, it is going to be the duty of the state, on the basis of the evidence that Mr. Gininda would have submitted to this court, to argue what he is now trying to argue. Otherwise, Mr. Baloyi needs to get into the box and Mr. Gininda come into the point where Mr. Baloyi is standing. They need to swap positions. But what he's doing now is pretty nonsensical, my lord.
Okay, yes, let's hear the state. What's the state's
As a good
response?
case, my lord, I think very fresh on the article that the court referred to about courtesy in court. One would have expected Advocate Mnisi to refrain from using words such as nonsensical, no matter how strongly he might object to the evidence. I think there's still a duty to show courtesy to the witness and the court. That is the first thing. The second thing is the court had asked this witness a question in elucidation, and the witness was in the process of answering the question that was posed by the court. And thirdly, as Advocate Mnisi pointed out, that the court has mentioned that it's trained to separate evidence from opinion evidence.
Usingeneke kulodaba ke ukuthi ke ufakazi besaphendula ke umbuzo inkantolo ubuzile esho ke ukuthi ke kwakunezinkulumo ke eyayikhona ke lana futhi ke kukhona ke nale information eyayikhona ke kwidokodo okwami ke kwakuukuthi ke manje ke ngithole ke ekuyikona kodwa ke ngingalandeli izinsolo ezikhona noma izinkulumo ezikhona ke ukuthi cha abekho abantu ababengenile lapha yana kodwa ke ngibheke lokhu okukhona ke kwidokodo bese ke manje ke ngibheke nalokho ukuthi cha akunabantu ke ababengenile manje ke unabantu ababesendlini ke abashoyo ukuthi omunye wabantu ababephakathi ke endlini wayenama dreadlocks ekwakuyena ke owayephethe isibhamu ube nabo omakhelwane abathi ke kulabo abantu abababonayo bephuma endlini ke ukuthi ke noma sebegijima ke noma bebaleka beya kuhlangothi oluthize omunye wabo wayenama dreadlocks aqhubekeke futhi esebenziseke ukuthi kwakufanele manje ngibhekeke ukuthi ke manje kuloko okhunywa yilabantu ke kuyinhlangothi ezahlukene uthi ke kwabe kusekhona nalobufakazi ke bolibefuzo noma ke phecelezi ke iDNA wabe esenza ke ekhuluma ke ngaye umsolwa ke wesithathu ekula ummeli wakho asukume khona ke ethi asithi ke mhlambe bekukhona ke okwatholakala lapha yana ku DNA leyo noma ke u2% kumina noma u1% kodwa nje okusho ukuthi yebo ke wayekhona ke wabe esesho ukuthi asithi ke mhlambe umsolwa ke wesithathu ekula ummeli ke asukume khona ke ukuthi nje lokho loyo 2% kumina ke wawaneleke ukuthi ngisho ukuthi yebo impela wayekhona lapho.
Thank you. The state will request that those gratuitous and unbridled insults by Advocate Mnisi regarding the witness be ignored, my lord.
There is no insult, my lord. The word nonsensical is there in the dictionary. If Mr. Baloyi is not aware of it, I can refer him to that word. And the definition of that word simply means that it makes no sense. It is nonsensical. I don't know how insulting that word is, right? And I heard him mentioning that there's an article on a Sunday that he read regarding court ethics and stuff like that. That starts with him. He knows what a duty of a witness who is an investigating officer is when that witness is giving his evidence. It is Mr. Baloyi's duty, first and foremost, as a leader of that witness, to lead that witness specifically on what that witness should come and tell this court, not to allow that witness to be on an escapade and wantonly come and give evidence that it is not in his terrain to come and give. Mr. Baloyi has been allowing Mr. Gininda to give opinion evidence. Mr. Baloyi has allowed this witness on a number of occasions to come up with suggestion that the evidence that is already before court demonstrated that accused number 3 was involved in this matter. He now mentions DNA. Previously, he also mentioned a firearm. It consistently allows this witness, my lord, to go on an escapade on evidence that it's, at this stage it is inadmissible. It's basically giving this witness a role that he himself should actually be playing. For instance, the court has simply asked a question about Mr. Ngache, whether or not he was still alive or what. This witness now goes out of the rail, it goes out of the question that the court has specifically asked, and Mr. Baloyi allows that to happen. And then he stands up and says there's an article that has been written by the honorable judges of this court on how ethics is. I am not here, my lord, representing myself. I am here to represent the interest of accused number 3. And I cannot allow witness such as evidence such as the one that is coming from Mr. Gininda to go through the record and miss it down here. I'll never allow that, my lord. Otherwise, I'll be doing injustice in the representation of Mr. Mncube here. But first and foremost, it starts with Mr. Baloyi himself. Okay. Thank you, my lord.
To save time, my lord, we'll then proceed. I've already mentioned that the witness was commenting on the question that was asked by the court. We had already moved to the situation of accused number 2 when the court asked this witness to comment on something. We cannot interrupt the witness when he answers to a question that was answered by the court and to which the court is entitled to ask. That is the simple fact of the matter. And as we pointed out, my lord, we don't understand the objection that was raised by Advocate Mnisi, as the court pleases.
I will make declarations and conclusions regarding the evidence tendered in this court, whether that evidence proves or disproves anything. And I'll quote the reasons why, if I agree or disagree with that evidence. Okay.
Thank you,
Mina-ke uzothatha-ke isinqumo-ke ukuthi-ke ubufakazi obethulwayo-ke lobo bufakazi buvumelekile noma cha ngizosho futhi-ke nangokomthetho ukuthi umthetho uthini mayelana nalokho.
As the court pleases, my lord, I I agree with the court on that it is the duty of the court to analyze the evidence, my lord, at the end of the case. However, my lord, I'm also standing on the point of objection so that it will go on record that it was pointed out, my lord, during the trial stage, that the way that the evidence is elicited at this point in time is not the correct procedure, my lord. Especially, my lord, the reference that has been made by the witness to the Ngashe senior witness, my lord. That statement was never handed in this court. There was no application for the handing over of that statement as hearsay statement. So in other words, my lord, it is not proper before this court. And the witness has made reference to the content of that evidence.
No. Where do I get the evidence? I got the evidence here.
Yes, my lord.
When I came to know that there's a neighbor who has made a statement, who actually also had the commotion, and there's another neighbor also who saw the deceased with his back in a white skipper or sweater,
Yes.
in the kitchen and had commotions. Somebody jumped into the yard and ran outside again. But the evidence of being a policeman who was there, I heard it from here. Am I right or wrong? I mean,
Yes.
how would I know otherwise?
For the one for the police, my lord, I don't have objections because those police testified.
No, Mtetwa and that gentleman, I don't have a problem.
Yes, my
I
lord.
mean Ngashe.
Ngashe,
because
yes,
I
my
wanted to
lord.
know where Ngashe is.
Yes.
And I was told that he's deceased.
Ngashe is deceased, my lord, and his statement was never submitted to this court as evidence, my lord. And therefore, no reference should be made to that statement or can be made to that statement, my lord.
When you say no reference should be made to that statement, no reference should also not be made to the evidence of the son of Ngashe. What's his name, by the way? Kaya. Kaya said, I was with my father. You remember that evidence?
My lord, the son is alive. The son has testified.
You don't know what I'm getting to, you see.
Oh, sorry, my lord.
The son also spoke about the father
Yes.
having seen whatever.
Yes.
That's all. And then the
Yes.
father is dead.
Yes, then let's correct the record, my lord. If we are making reference to the evidence of the Ngashe's son, then it must be directed to that portion of evidence that Ngashe's son said 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
But reference being made to the statement made by senior who passed away, and his statement has not been submitted as evidence. My lord, I'm raising an objection
Okay,
on that
fine.
point only.
Fine, okay.
Yes, my
Let's
lord.
go on.
And then also, secondly, on the issue of this witness giving analysis or making reference to the expert evidence, my lord, which is the forensic evidence which was led in this court, who is now saying, out of that expert evidence, I can be able to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's not an expert, my lord. He's not allowed to make any reference and to analyze on that part of evidence. He's just a police officer, this one. As the court pleases, my lord.
All right, yes, Mr.
As a court, please, we really don't. The neighbors that the brigadier is referring to have already testified. Ms. Nthabise Mokete as well as Ms. Kaya Ngashe. The evidence is already on record. As far as the analysis is concerned, the witness is merely saying that those are, the expert has already testified. The DNA analyst has already testified. The witness is merely giving a summation of the reason why he was persuaded that there were no, that there were intruders. That's the simple fact of the matter. But as you mentioned, my lord, we were busy commencing with the evidence pertaining to accused number 2.
Sizodlula ke manje lapho sizoqala ke ngobufakazi ke mayelana naye ke umsolwa wesibili.
Right. Now, Brigadier Gininda, you've already confirmed your testimony in the trial within a trial, in which you also testified about the circumstances under which accused number 2 was arrested.
That is correct, my lord. But if the court can give indulgence, my lord, I just want to say, and I'll request the court, perhaps, my lord, to assist in that what was said by Advocate Mnisi, because that's exactly how I'm viewing it. It is insulting. For him, the word nonsensical or nonsense may mean something else if interprets it. But I think the context of how it's said may give a different meaning. I feel it's insulting and disrespectful. I don't think I've done anything contrary to being respectful to Advocate Mnisi ever since we started to deserve that. And I just want to request that we maintain the decorum of the court. We may differ with what I say. He will have the opportunity when he cross-examine me as to why I said that, why did I base those expertise, and challenge me on it, my lord. And the court will then make a ruling. I was simply making my observation, not testifying as an expert, to say these were the pointers that convinced me that they were intruders. Not that I was saying, my lord, the expert, whoever did the work, were wrong or right. I was simply saying, after the matter was given to me, I had to analyze and make a decision as to whether indeed there were no intruders or were there intruders. And if there were no intruders, my lord, I would have given the same evidence to say, this is what I have, this is what the DNA is saying, and based on that, I was then convinced that there were no intruders. But in this instance, I'm simply pointing things that convinced me that there were intruders. Not that I'm reinterpreting or testifying on behalf of the expert. It's simply that, my lord. But the mere point of my statement, my lord, is just to request that we treat each other with respect. That's all, my lord. The difference is, I know we will bump head with my colleagues because we're on the opposite sides. But at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. It's in the interest of justice and to help this cause to come to a just conclusion, but not to treat each other with disrespect. That's all I need to ask, my lord.
Engizocela ke ukuthi ke mhlambe ingaba yiyona ke inkantolo engangilekelela ke noma ke ukuthi ke kwenzeke ke lokho ukuthi ke ngiceleke ukuthi ke kube khona ke inhlonipho ngoba ngendlela ke akhulume ngayo ke umnumzana ke umnisi ke ngegama ke lelo albizile nonsensical ke mhlambe yena ke angalihumusha ke ngendlela ethize kodwa mina ke ngilihumusha ngendlela ethize kodwa kumina ke kubonakalisa nje ukuthi ke ungabi khona kwayo ke inhlonipho akukho ke sengikwenzile kuzofinyelela khona manje okungathi ke kuholele kuthini ke mina ngimhloniphile noma angenza ke lokho mina ebengikwenza bengingaphikisani nobufakazi bakhe ke ungoti mayelana ke nolibofuzo noma ke iDNA bengichaza noma ngiveza nje ke izinto ke ezibe khona ezibe inkomba kumina ukusho ukuthi yebo babe khona abantu abangena kuleya muzi noma kule yandlu noma ke bekuwukuthi babengekho ke bengizonikeza ke ubufakazi obufanayo ngithi yebo ke ngenxa yalokhu ke ngithola ke ukuthi cha abekho ke abantu ababengenile kuloya muzi ukucela nje ukuthi ke nje kube khona ke nje indlela yokuhloniphana la enkantolo.
Okay, enough said. Can we adjourn for tea? I'm told it's 20 past.
Oh, okay, it's a good place.
Okay.